Oi mate, there's you.
I believe it is. Wicked.
You coaching football, you are a legend for doing something so stupid. I mean, it's mental. They're gonna murder you.
Some bit of news from the other side of the Atlantic. AFC Richmond announced the hiring of their new manager, American football coach Ted Lasso.
You're an American who's now in charge of a football club despite possessing very little knowledge of the game.
Oh, I know that AFC Richmond is going to give you everything they got, win or lose. All tie, right? Y'all do ties. You see that?
You must be from England, yeah? Well, another country?
Yes and no. How many countries in this country?
4. Like it or not, Richmond are changing the way we do things, and from now on, that way is the Lasso way.
Hey, look, this car's got an invisible steering wheel.
What you're doing is irresponsible. This can actually mean something to this town.
You don't think I see that every day out there on the streets? Are you kidding me? I think that's what it's all about. Embracing change. Being brave.
Your decision to bench Jamie was a masterstroke.
I don't think we're allowed to talk like that at work anymore. For me, success is not about the wins and losses. It's about having these young fellas be the best versions of themselves on and off the field. I always figured that tea was just going to taste like hot brown water. And you know what? I was right. Yeah, it's horrible. No, thank you.
Welcome to England.
Howdy, ArcFab. This is your 2022 Aid to Camp Leadership Development Program team here today, and you guys have seen quite a bit of content come out from us over this year, and but one of the things that we wanted to do a little differently is instead of just focusing on more traditional or formal leadership content, we wanted to kind of open up everybody's eyes and perspectives, open up the peripherals to be able to like look at content in popular culture, whether it's TV shows or movies, things that you encounter or interact with in your everyday life, and look at those through the lens of leadership and try to pull some great lessons out of that. And so today we're here looking at recovering or recapping Ted Lasso with you and sharing kind of our big takeaways. So really excited about that. Kevin's going to talk about kind of how we got started in this and what to look forward to through the rest of this podcast, interview, hangout together, talking about Ted Lasso.
Yeah, so as we kind of were looking for leadership values in popular culture, things that we could pull information from, we kind of, as a group, we decided we needed to come up with the values that we saw, that we thought a leader. I'm screwing this up, man.
It's all right. We're not doing another take.
Oh man, yeah.
So you guys give Kevin a break.
All right. So really, we said, what do we think as a group, as Aid to Camp, what do we see valuable in a leader? And we went through and we came up with 4 values that really defined leader, and we put a bunch of different values in each category. So we came up with emotional intelligence, enthusiastic mindset, lead by example, and influential. And we're going to go into detail with each one. The way we came about determining those values was really not unlike the way that the executive team came about figuring out our core values. We basically all got together and started on the marker board just writing down what we saw valuable in leaders, what we saw in the leaders that we respected and appreciated, what we wanted to be and who we wanted to be as leaders, what we saw in Ted Lasso as we went through this. So as we look at Ted Lasso, we look at it through the lens of these values that we determine to be critical and real valuable as a leader.
Yeah, we also focused on what we wanted in a leader, and it just was a really organic way of coming up with these 4 values that we thought were up here, but we came up with 20, 25 other words that meant what we wanted in a leader. So for emotional intelligence, we had empathy, humility, authenticity, and vulnerability. And so those, we had that first, and then we kind of said, okay, well, what do all these mean together, and came up with emotional intelligence. And so we did the same thing along the lines, like Kevin was saying. Enthusiastic mindset was the next one.
Yeah, so enthusiastic mindset, like some of the words that we use to describe enthusiastic mindset in a leader was positivity, willing to help, leader being approachable, inspiring, motivational, committed, consistent, confident. These are all words that we wrote down on the board as valuable traits that we see in the leaders around us, and we summarize that as enthusiastic mindset.
And we came up with lead by example. The words that really described that were organized, punctual, efficient, and student, which was a huge one. That lifelong learner, that always desiring to better yourself and be better. And then the last one was influential.
Yeah, which we thought was just, a great communicator, being bold, being decisive, getting shit done. We thought those things, put it all together. It's someone who's influential in a group, in a team, in a company. And that's kind of the four that we came up with that we're going to talk about Ted Lasso and kind of those areas.
Yeah, and just to kind of recap what we just talked about, like, once we got done watching the show, there's 2 seasons to this point, and we had a lot of great notes about things that really stood out to us within the show. But then when we got back together after watching it, it was like, how do we present this back to the company? Like, how do we present it in a meaningful way? And so we decided to, come up with these like aide-de-camp leadership values that we're going to look through that lens. Those four leadership values, we're going to look at Ted Lasso through that lens. So really excited about sharing that with you. One of the things that's like super important to me, and really why I think it's an important exercise for all of us to take the opportunity to look at everything, like our everyday lives. There's opportunities to like look for examples of great peoples, not just in leadership, but like in how to live your life, how to be a great father, how to be a great dad, husband, brother, whatever your role is in life and different aspects of your life, is just looking for those examples. And I connect really personally to that. Like as a kid, my dad left when I was 6 months old. I don't need any like sympathy or pity for that, but it really is defining a really defining attribute of my life is growing up without a dad. And pretty early on, like I realized that I had an opportunity in my life to like kind of look to other men that I like came in contact with, and to like kind of pick the things that I liked best about the way they were living their lives, and like try to model that in myself. And as I got older, I remember being 10, 11 years old, and my friends, they wanted to be like firemen or astronauts or scientists or like something glorious, the next prince or something like they had these like they wanted to like do things like really kind of aspirational or more traditional, but like for me it was a lot more simple. Like when I was that age, like all I really wanted to be was a dad. All I wanted to be was a father. And so like as a 10, 11-year-old kid, like it really became kind of my mission in life. It's like in absence of a father, like a dedicated father figure, is like looking to the men, my uncles, my grandfather, people that I came in contact with, teachers, later in life in college, like meeting my friends' dads, or like one of the most influential people in my life is actually my father-in-law. Like I married my high school sweetheart. Julie and I started dating in high school, and like meeting her dad at the time that I did was just like a huge influence on me to like help me understand like there's a different way to live life than the way that I had seen life be lived growing up, in the family that I grew up in. So just a great example, great model to me. And I think so, this exercise really kind of takes that and applies it in a different way, the lesson that I learned growing up, and applies it in a different way, and just really hope that as you interact with our content, you just feel encouraged to, when you're sitting down watching a TV show, like looking at the people, the characters that are in that show, and picking the things that they do well, the things that you like, even though they might be actors, like they're still showing you something. And Ted Lasso's a fictional character, but he has a lot to offer as a fictional character and how we can be better leaders. And so I'm excited about going through this exercise with you guys. So.
And Jeff, I appreciate you sharing that. Like, I think it's interesting to see people that have, and we all have adversity in our life, we all have difficulties, but people that have like some really difficult times, they can kind of either take that and turn it into something positive, or turn it into an excuse and something negative, right? It's kind of, you're talking about looking for what you like in different people and the best traits of people and how you want to be more like that or more like this. And I think it kind of is summed up in you become like the people you surround yourself with, right? You surround yourself with people that are making good choices and doing the right thing and overcoming adversity. You'll do the same thing, or you'll learn from them. And it's real easy to fall into victimhood, or this is why things are harder for me. I think of my wife a lot, and I've shared with y'all have met my wife. She's had a fair amount of difficulties in her life. She also lost her father. She lost her father when she was about 4 or 5. Really hard on her. She was also born with a disability, and there was a lot of struggles that came with that. And the doctor said she would never walk. And like I said, y'all have met her. She's an amazing woman, and I dare anybody to tell her that she can't do something, because it's you do that at your own risk. It's dangerous. But when we met, like, she was independent, so like it's turned her into such an amazing woman, overcoming these adversities. And there's so many things that she's dealt with in her life that she could easily use as an excuse to, this is why I couldn't accomplish anything. This is why I'm struggling when this person over here is not. But instead, she's got her master's degree, a successful career. We've got 3 children. Like the strongest person I've ever met is my wife. So, it's just fun to look at people that have overcome that adversity and really achieved and made something out of themselves, despite the difficulties that everybody has faced.
Yeah, no doubt. Right? Yeah, that's awesome, man. Thank you for sharing that. And we hope that you guys get to not only get experience and exposure with us presenting this content, get to know more about us professionally, but at ArcFab we believe in supporting the whole person, and we want people to have the opportunity to be their true authentic self. We identified authenticity as a really important leadership trait, but that's a important human trait, right? And so we're excited about you guys getting to know more about us and being able to make connections with us. So we're gonna start in on Ted Lasso again. We're reviewing it through the lens of these leadership values, which are emotional intelligence, enthusiastic mindset, lead by example, and influential. And so stay tuned. We're looking forward to showing you guys what we have in store. Thank you.